Is religion really the problem? Hello everyone, Dan Mason here. Let's explore another issue from the PA Times in our current events together. How religion shapes public administration. The author of the essay is Shernica, and I will be addressing her directly throughout this article review. Shernica, I read your argument without rushing through it. You built 3 large theoretical models. You tried to show how religion shapes public administration through institutions, street-level behavior, and coalitions. You offered a sweeping explanation of power and framed faith groups as drivers of bureaucratic outcomes. The problem is clear. You presented theories without evidence. You described patterns that you never proved. You relied on academic voices to replace data. Your argument collapses under basic logical review. That is what I will show. Your work did not present a single data set, a single documented administrative decision, a single policy memo, or a single measured outcome. You used Weber and Lipsky as if their theories were facts. They are not. They are early models made for a different era. You treated them as if they were direct observations of current federal behavior. They are not, and you never showed that they apply today. You claimed that religious authority shapes positions of ownership and management. You never cited numbers or trends. You did not show a causal chain. You presented a theory and assumed the world fits it. That is a fundamental logical fallacy known as begging the question. You thought the truth of the thing you needed to prove. Your first paradigm claimed that religious institutions exerted top-down influence. You gave no evidence of institutional capture of agencies or workplaces. You stated that it happened. That is an unsupported assertion. Your second paradigm claimed that street-level workers bring private theology into policy. You did not show cases, patterns, surveys, or interviews. You framed belief as a primary driver of administrative discretion, yet failed to show that it even plays a measurable role. You created a narrative but not a finding. Your third paradigm described coalitions that censor themselves. You blamed the coalitions for this pressure. You did not show that the pressure came from within the groups. You did not show that the coalitions asked for censorship. You ignored the most obvious cause. Federal funding structures continually shape behavior. Incentives guide conduct. The state applies the pressure. The groups respond to it. You inverted cause and effect without justification. This is a post hoc fallacy. You saw a behavior change and assigned the cause without proving it. The most significant flaw in your analysis is your claim that religious coalitions distort themselves to gain political influence. You never showed that they would distort themselves without federal incentives. Organizations of every type must compromise to stay within an agency's rules. That is not a religious problem. That is a governance problem. When you treat the effect as if it were the cause, you fall into the fallacy of false attribution. You assigned motivation to the wrong actor. You claimed that rational choice theory fails because coalitions force groups to self-censor. You did not show that the groups have coherent or unified theological positions in the first place. Many organizations have internal diversity. Many leaders disagree. Many congregations split. You treated faith groups as if they were monolithic actors with single minds. They are not. This is the fallacy of composition. You treated the part as if it represented the whole. You assumed that the administrative structure is a passive environment. You thought that only religious actors distort outcomes. You left out the power of agencies, incentives, compliance conditions, and regulatory demands. Public administration shapes behavior through rules, audits, and contract structures. When you ignore this, you commit another fallacy. You treated one variable as if no other variable existed. This is a single cause fallacy. You created a narrative of religious influence while erasing the state's influence. You reached your final claim by stacking assumptions. You argued that coalitions recruit faith-based groups as service partners. You argued that effectiveness declines because groups must hide their identity. You blamed the groups for the decline. You never examined the structural pressures placed on all contractors. You ignored the vast literature on grant compliance. You treated the coalition as the distorting force. You never considered the bureaucratic contract itself. This is a framing fallacy. You framed the problem in a way that forced your conclusion. Your essay did not present evidence to support its 3 paradigms. It offered theory without data. It relied on assumptions about motivation, cohesion, and influence without proving any of them. It reversed cause and effect. It ignored the most powerful force in public administration, the state itself. The result is not a model, it is a story. It is a story built on circular reasoning and selective focus. If you want to claim that religion shapes bureaucracy, you must show it with real cases, real numbers, and real outcomes. You did not. That is why the argument fails. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to support this channel.